Hari Om. Once again, welcome to the Navshakti Fest, a 9-day celebration discovering various forms of the Divine Mother. Before we continue with the enchanting story, let's invoke the blessings of the Divine Mother. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvada Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Narayani Namostute. However good story might be, but its essence can be conveyed only by an inspiring storyteller. So why should we wait? Let's welcome our dear Brahmacharini Anupama Ji Chaitanya to take us along with her in the journey of Ma Katyayani's form today. Over to you, Anupama Ji.
Hari Om to one and all, and we are back to Navashakti Fest. So now, as we know the story so far, once it happened that all the Devatas were really frustrated and harassed by a demon called Mahishasur. Must have heard this name. This Mahishasur was creating havoc, and all the Devatas were trying to fight this Mahishasur, and they were really trying hard, but Mahishasur was so powerful that they were not able to fight. In spite of all being together, all the Devatas together could not fight Mahishasur. That was his strength. Now, if we know who is Mahishasur, if we ask, Mahishasur word is very known to us. Mahishi means buffalo. So the demon who is like buffalo. Now, if we see the characteristic of buffalo, it is always in the waters and lazy, doing nothing, aram priya. These are the traits of buffalo, and that traits are found in us also when we don't want to do anything, and only Mahishi is still okay. But if Mahishi along with Asurta means there is no noble goal in life and only sensual pleasures you want to indulge in, and that is Asura, which brings downfall, which doesn't give that dignity of being a human and living a life of an animal. So that is Mahishasur. When these traits, these tendencies pull us down, that is the trait that is within us also, that Mahishasur. So generally we get complacent and we don't fight against this laziness, procrastination and all these things. We are comfortable in uncomfortable zone, and so-called make a comfortable zone. So we get used to of it. But Devatas were not like that. Devatas took it up and decided that we want to finish this Mahishasur just completely. We want to destroy him like to the core. And they decided this, but then they were not together also, they were not able to face him. So they prayed to Mother, and they prayed that please you do something and take a form with which you can kill this Mahishasur. And Mother, being so compassionate, agreed to it. And all the Devatas came together. They gave their best, because sometimes we try to fight our weaknesses, but we don't give our best. But all the Devatas here came together. They gave their best. Vishnu Bhagwan gave his chakra, and then Shivaji gave his Trishul, and Brahmaji gave his Kamandalu with Gangaji, and then Varuna Devta came, he gave Shankha and lot of jewels, and then Agni Devta came, he gave missiles, and Indra came, Airavat and all Vajra he gave. So all different ayudhas were given to mother, like all different values were given to her like that. She doesn't need it, but for us to understand that that is the strength, that is the power, that those are the uh, weapons we can fight against our weaknesses. So mother got ready. She was looking so radiant because sun god also gave her the raises, and she was so radiant and so beautiful, charming, with 18 hands, with and 18 hands had different weapons in each hand, and she rode the ferocious lion, and magnificent was her walk, and she went to uh, where Mahishasur was hiding. Now, this Mahishasur is not easy to find. So first, he did not. He was hiding. He was hiding behind the mountains, and then mother was like, mother played the conch, and mother laughed. And when she laughed, it was attahasya. And when mother laughs attahasya with such anger, then entire earth started trembling, and that Mahishasur also uh, was little afraid, and his asuras also got afraid. First, a little only, okay, what happened suddenly? But then he sent his people and tried to convince her that join our party. You see, if you become queen, our queen means our, if you get married to our king, then you will be ruling the entire world. Means what? In our life also it happens. The laziness, the procrastination, all these come and tell us that come on, join us. We justify our own actions. One more hour, we should sleep. Sleeping is good medicine, and at least this month you should sleep. 1 hour early, I'll get up, and then whole day will be not good. So you should sleep. So these kind of reasons we give ourselves, justify ourselves, that is Mahishasur within us, the people of Mahishasur, and doesn't let us grow or do something higher in life. Similarly, here also this Mahishasur was hiding. He was hiding behind the mountain, and sometime coming from the back, and something like mother could not figure it out. But then she was alert and efficient, and she realizes that what's happening, and then she destroyed that mountain only, so that he cannot hide. And when you come forward, when he saw mother in front of him, he got really scared, and he was like, now there is no way but I have to fight. So then started the war, and the so much of anger was there on Nishasur's side, and he took out his arrows, bows and arrows, and he shot the arrow, and one arrow became thousands of them, into thousands. And then mother also took her Chandra arrow, and then she destroyed all the thousands arrow in one go. And then he said, okay, now what to do? Mother took another arrow, and she just broke the bow of Mahishasur. And that's where he said, oh, now the bow is also gone. Now what to do? What to do? And he took his mace, Gada, and he started hitting that lion. The lion got, lion was hit on the head, but it didn't affect, nothing happened to lion. Lion didn't even lose the balance. That ferocious lion was there. So, but mother got really angry, because if something happens to mother, that she can take it, but if something you do it to her devotees or somebody whom she is liking, you are gone, finished. So mother got really annoyed, and mother started chasing this Mahishasur. Mahishasur saw now nothing is happening. He started running, and mother started chasing, and he was super fast, but then mother was super fast too. And then mother caught hold of him, and he still was not able to be in her hold. So he bounced back on mother, but mother effortlessly came out from his hold, and she just took the Trishul, and she killed that Mahishasur, that enough is enough. and she killed that Mahishasur. Boliye Mahishasur Mardini ki jai. So that's how mother killed it. But then in this story, as we see that how our weaknesses, when we try to face them, they become little stronger. But if we really be determined and invoke the grace of mother, then we can actually finish these weaknesses from the root. Also, the Ma Katyayani is she's called Ma Katyayani because after the war, after Mahishasur was killed, were very happy. But they never thought that mother also must be tired. Only Katyayani Rishi thought, and he offered the water to mother. And that's why she is called Katyayani. That's one of the story. There are many more. So this is one of the version that she is called Katyayani. Another connection of mother is with Krishna. And gopis used to pray to Katyayani mother that may we also get a great, the most handsome and wonderful husband like Krishna, and may we become pure like you, because purity is the greatest strength and greatest. If you want to be alert, if your mind is pure, it helps to be alert and efficient also. So they prayed that may mother make our hearts so pure like hers, because Katyayani Ma's heart is purest. She is divine love of Shiva. So that's Shivji. So her heart is so pure. May we also get that purity, that strength, that alertness, and that courage to face our own negativities, our own weaknesses, and finish them completely, destroy them completely from the root, so that we can live fully and achieve the highest in this human birth, which is possible. Hari Om.
Okay, so now it's time for our Yuva Kendra to present them. How do they see efficiency and alert?
So here comes your way an enchanting story of valor, vigor, dynamism and competence to mark the auspicious day of the worship of Katyayani Mata. This story belongs to Rani Karnavati of Garhwal region, who defeated the Mughal army. She is also known as Nagkati Rani, as she literally cut off the noses of the Mughal army. This story explains her alertness and efficiency, which made her an invincible ruler. Shah Jahan invited all the kings and his feudatories to attend his Rajyabhishek. He also invited Mahipad Shah, who was Rani Karnavati's husband. He interpreted the invitation as a threat to his sovereignty and thus chose not to attend the ceremony. This gave rise to conflict between the two emperors. After a few years, Mahipad Shah died in the battle, leaving his 7-year-old son to be enthroned. Rani Karnavati took upon herself to fulfill the responsibilities until her son was capable enough to do so. Finding this as an opportunity to conquer the kingdom of Garhwal, Shah Jahan decided to send a troop of 30,000 soldiers to overpower and seek revenge. Rani Karnavati was blessed with fortune to have loyal statesmen and ministers in her court. The news of the troop ascending towards her kingdom reached the vigilant queen through her well-built network of spies. The beforehand information helped the queen to plan the course of action for the upcoming war. As the army neared Ganga river, she blocked the army from both the sides with huge blockades. Soon the Mughal army was out of food, tired and dreadful. Finally giving up, the army requested for truce, but were refused. The queen could have destroyed and killed every one of them, but she chose against it. She did so by sparing their lives only on the condition that they cut off their noses instead and return back to the kingdom. Shah Jahan's soldiers in a fix, having no other alternative, they decided to surrender by cutting off their nose, thus saving their lives. When the Nagkata troops straggled back to the Mughal court, it was a huge blow to Shah Jahan's prestige, and this gave her the name Nagkati Rani, the queen who cuts the nose. Rani Karnavati made sure that all the noses reached Shah Jahan as a warning to not attack her kingdom ever again. Despite her warning, Shah Jahan repeatedly sent his troops to attack the queen. In spite of all the attempts, Nagkati Rani upheld her respect and might and did not let it waver even once. Her alertness and efficiency made her stand strong and undefeated. We bow down to Ma Katyani and pray to her that she blesses us with the virtue of alertness and efficiency on this auspicious day. Hari Om.
Thank you, Chicks. That was such an apt narration and presentation of Ma Katyayani today. But one question arises here. How do we imbibe these qualities of efficiency and alertness in ourselves? So today, we have with us one such personality who will emphasize the importance of these values and apply it in our lives. It's a pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Sensei Aditi Trivedi. She is a yoga and martial arts trainer based in Ahmedabad. She was first introduced to karate when she was just 3 years old, and she became a black belt at the age of 12. Martial arts is now an integral part of her life, along with deep practice of yoga and meditation. And she firmly believes in empowering women with the techniques of self-defense. Welcome, Aditi ji.
Hari Om. A very warm welcome to all of you lovely people. My name is Aditi Trivedi and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here and to get a chance to speak to you. So, efficiency. Tell me, what is the first word that comes to your mind when you think about efficiency? Simply put, it means the ability to get more things done in a less amount of time. Since it is Navratri and I am here to speak about it in the context of Ma Katyayani, let me speak about Mataji a little bit. Katyayani Ma is the form of the goddess worshipped on the 6th day of Navratri. She is a manifestation of goddess Durga, who is also seen as the slayer of the tyrannical demon Mahishasur. She was created to end the sins being committed by the demons and was born as a fighter. So then two things that I find noteworthy here. First, each one of us, you and I, should strive to become, even in the smallest form, miniature versions of Ma Katyayani. As you would agree, a woman is known to have more than just two hands, as she runs around doing so many things at the same time, multitasking at being a mother, a wife, a cleaner, a cook, a driver, supervisor, manager, so many things at the same time. So, a few lifestyle changes seem to be the way to go here, because one needs to be efficient as well as energetic to be able to do so many host of activities at the same time. To be able to work to our optimum potential, we need to be in the prime of health. As a yogi and a martial artist, I cannot stress enough the importance of these two activities in my personal life. Let me take a moment here to tell you a little bit about my childhood. My father, Sri Nikhil Trivedi, is the founding director of Gujarat's pioneering martial art institution, Arjun School of Martial Arts. He is a strict disciplinarian, so my sister and I have had a tough childhood. But everything that we are today is credits to him. As a yogi, I feel that yoga is not something that you do just for an hour, but it is something that you become. Yoga is to find stillness within movement. It brings equanimity to your mind and a balance into your life. Practicing yoga doesn't make you a superhuman, but it definitely makes you realize that being human is super. And martial arts. Well, martial arts is my passion, as well as it complements yoga. Martial arts has brought a single pointedness in my focus, and it has taught me to live in the present moment. That, I think, is fundamentally what efficiency and alertness is all about. Martial arts also helps us to improve our reflexes, our instincts, and also it enhances our decision-making skills. I'll come to more about it in a minute, but first, let's talk about efficiency for a second. Let's go to the root of the word efficiency. Efficiency stems from a healthy state of physical body and a happy state of mind. We need to be confident in our actions, and this action needs to come from a benevolent intention. Now, the opposite of efficiency would be laziness or inertia. Also, also, our diet plays a vital role in deciding what sort of an energy we will be propelled into. A sattvic diet would propel us into a sattvic action. Also, we would observe that when one is going to do something for the greater good, that is a seva karya, there is almost a limitless sort of a divine energy that supports you in the work. So it's like an equation. Larger the cause, greater the energy, and smaller the cause, smaller the energy. Now, there are a lot of changes that we can make in our lives to improve our energy levels, but I have a more pressing topic that I need to discuss right now. Remember how in the beginning I had talked about how there are two things that we can learn from Ma Katyayani? So the second one here is that the life purpose of Katyayani Ma was to obliterate evil and to establish peace upon earth. She did something that even the gods all combined together could not accomplish. That, my dear powerful ladies, is the strength of a goddess, the feminine strength. These are pressing times that we live in, and the statistics say that last year the average rape cases per day in the country went up to 87 amongst innumerable unreported and reported sexual assaults. Now we all are aware about these issues going on in the country, but let's talk about the solution here. Within the next 2 minutes, I'm going to give out a few pointers that you might like to take a mental note of for when you are going out in public spaces or are alone. The criminal-minded people look for a few common traits in their targets. So they look for weak-looking targets. By weak-looking, I mean a lot of things, and by criminal-minded, I mean eve teasers, stalkers, creeps, or just men with malintentions. So since we are discussing solutions here, let's discuss what we should do when we are out in public spaces or are alone generally roaming around. We need to project confidence. Now, I strongly believe that our confidence is reflected in our walk. So, the way you walk, it should project confidence, always. They wouldn't choose a troublemaker. Anybody who looks like they would create a havoc or create a ruckus or attract a lot of attention, they would definitely stay away from. So if anything like that ever happens to you, just start shouting and just try to attract a lot of attention to the situation. And lastly, you should trust your instinct and your intuition. Go with the gut feeling always. If you feel that somebody doesn't feel a good vibe or doesn't generally feel the energy right, then just get away from there. If a rickshaw driver doesn't feel right, then don't sit in his rickshaw. So in this video, I'm going to show you a few simple self-defense techniques that you can practically use if the situation arises. So there are some naturally strong body parts like your palm heel, your elbows, your head, knee, your heels. So all these parts you can use to vitally damage the opponent. And there are some vital organs like the center line of the body. So now I'm going to show you hands-on experience, right? So from the same grip, how do we escape? Number one, on the nose. With power, you hit on the top of the tip of the nose. Then on the ears. And the ribs. Then there is a pressure point here on the elbow. So here. You press very hard or you hit very hard with the palm heel. Then the knee on the solar plexus. So then your foot on his knee. That is one. And then you take him by surprise. And then come in a fighter's mode. Right? Then next, you can also use your heel on his big toe to make him hurt and might squash his foot. Pachi, you can use a slap and then make him fall. Right? And then let's see if the opponent is holding us from behind. You can use your knuckles to press hard and rub on his back of the palm. So on here it will hurt very hard, you can see for yourself. Use your heel to press and hit on his foot, big toes. The same heel can go on his knee, allowing backward bending for him. Then you can use your head to hit him on the nose. And then you inhale, last one, you inhale and you escape, exhaling. That is it. And then in a girl's purse, there's always a few things available like a pair of keys, a simple pen and a comb. Then that you can use on the vital organs of the opponent's body. So like here, at the pituitary gland, પછી કાનની નીચે there is a pressure point. Then in the center of the throat, you can just pierce, hit very hard and pierce. It hurts very bad. And solar plexus. Very important, solar plexus is a very vital point. You can use a comb to tear at his throat, and you can use it here on the temple, hit hard. And with a pen, you can just poke, gouge out his eyes, and use the same pen and hit everywhere and anywhere. Right, so these are a few simple self-defense techniques. Thank you. And always remember, confidence is the key and you are stronger than you think. Thank you all for joining me. I had such a wonderful time talking to you. I would love to hear from you. If you ever want to learn yoga or martial arts, I'm just one call away. You can find me on my Instagram. And lastly, may the divine strength of the goddess be with us always. Greetings for the festival. Hari Om and Namaste.
Thank you, Sensei Aditi ji, for these important pointers and demonstrating how we can protect ourselves. No one could imagine that we can use so many tools within our reach to protect ourselves. In today's time, or why just today's time? Since long we have been multitaskers. To perform all these tasks, we need efficiency to perform them to their proximity. We need to be alert, and as Gurudev says, let our mind be where our hands are working. Okay, so let's see if we are present here and now. Can we start our videos, please, so that we can see each other? Let's have some interactive session. Okay, thank you. Now, look at your screens and follow my instructions. Okay, let's start. Touch your nose, touch your eyes, touch your ears, touch your chin, touch your cheek, touch your forehead, touch your hair, touch your nose, touch your cheeks, touch your eyes, touch your lips, touch your forehead. Okay, now, did we notice anything? In this seemingly simple exercise, how much of us did we literally do what I was saying? Did we focus on listening and perform that task? Or did we focus on watching and perform the task? Or did we do both? Focus on listening and watching and then perform our tasks? Well, to do the work efficiently, we need to be alert and efficient. It's time for live Q&A with Brahmacharini Anupama Chaitanya ji. We have received a few questions and it would request Anupama ji to please answer them. Question is, like Mother God help from all the devatas to kill Mahishasur, how do we, or from where do we get such help?
From mother only. From mother only we can receive this strength, from whichever deity we have faith in, the highest energy, because we are not alone. We are connected to that highest energy or ultimate truth or whatever we say. Just because we don't feel that connection, we are not able to feel that energy also and strength also. So that connection, that relation is very, very important with the higher, and through that we can get the strength, the courage to face all the situations. And there are ample of examples where mother has helped many people. The mother or any deity for that matter, as we already discussed, form is our choice. Any form we are worshipping as the Almighty has helped. There are many experience. I can probably share one if we have time. That is the lady who was devotee of Puja Gurudev, and she had tremendous faith in Gurudev. That one day she was just passing through the railway station, and it was too dark and nobody was around. She was all alone, maybe late in the night, and she had to go from one platform to another platform, and she saw there is somebody who is very dreary, like a very scary person is sitting. So she was scared, but then she remembered Gurudev, and she just walked with her faith, and he didn't even look at her. Now, after a few days, she found that she was journalist, so she found that he was a criminal whom she saw, and she wondered that he was such a criminal, he would have not left any girl who is alone like this. How come he would have let me go? And she goes and asks this criminal who was already caught. So she meets him in the jail, and she asks that, why did you touch me also? Why? What happened to you? Because you have never left any girl. He says, how could I ever touch you? Because there was a man with you with a long beard, and he described, and he said that he looked at me and I just could not move at all. And this is a real incident. I'm not just bluffing. So it's a real incident where her faith, and the description what he gave was of Puja Gurudev. So anybody whom you have faith, it may be Krishna, it may be Shivji, it may be anyone, that strong faith and conviction that Lord is there to help us. Of course he is there. Of course we are children of Almighty Lord, and Bhagavan is going to help us. Only thing is that we need to have that faith and that connection. If that connection is not there, we'll not be able to receive that strength also. So that relation, that connection, which is what our culture always focuses on. I guess that this would have given some clarity.
Yes, so true, Anupama ji. The connection is really when we have faith. There is one more question. How do we realign ourselves when we become too involved in just one value?
Sorry, too involved in?
Just one value.
One value.
Right.
Can you repeat one more? I didn't get it.
How do we realign ourselves when we become too involved in just one value of Mata?
Exactly not able to understand your question, because following any one value is realigning ourselves. You pick up anyone, Puja Guruji says very beautifully, because we see so many values and then, oh my God, I have to follow so many values. Like I have to follow the discipline also, I have to follow the truthfulness, I have to follow this, that. So Guruji says you pick up one. One is enough. You pick up one, rest all will follow. So any one value which you really hold on to, because value is a strength. If you hold on to that value and you follow it with all determination and you go ahead, then all the rest of the values will follow. So then we can realign ourselves following values.
Let us invoke Ma Katyayani's blessings so that we can imbibe these qualities of alertness and efficiency. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Buddhi Rupena Samstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.